Alright, I've just started us up again. So, sorry, context to everyone. We talked a lot about Star Wars and we lost all of it. So, we're going to be talking about cats.
Flakes. Okay, epic. I was going to ask you, because you seem to just started... I thought you were recording that whole time.
I was, but I'm probably not going to use it.
Okay.
Well, the last, 5-10 minutes. Yeah, so we lost...
Yeah, you just started rapid firing through everything, which is good, because I really want to talk about cats.
So this madman seen cats how many times?
Before we get into that, a word from our sponsor. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet, Monster Energy. It's the ideal combo of the right ingredients in the right proportion to deliver the big bad buzz that only Monster can. Monster packs a powerful punch, but has a smooth and easy drinking flavor. Athletes, musicians, anarchists...
Wait, anarchists?
Yeah. Road warriors, metalheads, geeks, hipsters, and bikers dig it. You will too. Unleash the beast. www.monsterenergy.com. So, cats open.
What is that? We're not sponsored at all, unless you are. Is this your first podcast, Cats, sponsored by Monster Energy?
Okay, no. I've been playing a game that came out recently called Death Stranding. And Death Stranding is a video game that just has a monster sponsorship.
Oh, it does too, doesn't it?
The main character, Norman Reedus, fucking slams back monster cans. Because the screenshot that I use as a background for my PlayStation is just all the monster cans on a table and Norman Reedus looking on with solemn dignity. So I was just reading the blurb off of that. Because it's the actual can and it has the real website on the back.
Alright, let's talk about cats. Tell me all about it. I haven't seen it.
Okay. The film opens on a darkened night. And it's like, ooh, it's mysterious. It's spooky. And as I mentioned earlier in the footage we lost, the film opens with a car driving into an alleyway. And then it's like, ooh, who's in the car? And then the bigger question comes up instantly, which is, what the fuck were these people thinking when we see the cat people scurrying around in the shadows like monsters? And the whole time I'm thinking, whoever's in that car is in big trouble. Because without knowing, they are surrounded by horrible demons. And they get out, and we don't actually see their face, because whoever's in that car is not an important character. But they're carrying a bag with something shaking around in it, and instantly, because this whole time, I have been laughing nervously, because there's no other accurate reaction. I cannot describe how horrifying it is, because I touched on it briefly earlier, but the cats in this film look terrible. If you haven't seen them, watch the trailer.
Yeah.
But it's not just how they look, it's also how they act and how they move. And most of the time, they move by crawling on all fours. Which is what you see. You see, their silhouettes crawling around. And it's like, Jesus Christ. This is some fucking grudge shit. They're gonna start crawling over the roofs and stuff.
I can't believe this film was greenlit.
I can't believe it cost $95 million. Actually, I can believe that, because it has a star-studded cast, which I'll get into soon. But the person in the car is holding a bag with something moving in it, and instantly I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, that is dark. Because it is just a cat in the bag, and he chucks the bag on the ground, and then all of the cats surround the bag before it opens up. And it's like, what? And then they're all dancing around the bag in a circle. And from where the camera is, it's looking from the bag's perspective outwards. Yeah. And you just see all these cats dancing around, and I'm like, fucking hell. I feel like I've just taken acid. I've gone to the pet store. Because this is just, like, it is a fever dream that does not let up until the end. It is just...
Jesus.
An hour and a half
soul.
of surreal nonsense. And the cat, the bag opens up, or I don't remember... Somehow I don't remember if she gets out of the bag herself or if the other cats help her. I'm pretty sure she just gets out herself. And then it's revealed the main character.
The main character comes out of the bag.
Yes, out of the bag.
What, is it a body bag?
No, because...
How big is this bag?
It's like a bag big enough for a cat, because I was instantly about to follow
A human-sized cat?
No, the cats aren't human-sized. They're shrunk down, but they are too small. They are smaller in relation to their environment than a cat would be, because, like, the environment is super big around them.
This is weird. I mean, why would I think it's not weird? This is...
It's a bunch of tiny people that look like cats running around. Basically. And then they start the first song of the film, because it's a musical, in case you didn't know.
Yeah. Fucking can't stand it. Yeah.
So naturally, almost none of the words in the film are actually spoken. Almost all of them are in song.
Yep.
And the first song is, I believe, Jellicles Can and Jellicles Do, which is about the cats. They are part of a cult called the Jellicles, and I'll explain this more later.
Okay.
When we find out the basis of their religion. But all you have to know is that this cat that's been abandoned on the side of the road has been basically abducted into a cult. Because she tries to run away several times, that they chase and surround her to stop her from leaving. It's like, damn, fucking hell. And they, like, get right up in her face. And also, and, like, she tries to, get a word in edgewise about, what the fuck is going on? What is a jellicle? Where am I?
Yeah.
And they hiss at her, which is so cringe, because it's human hissing at another human. It's weird. And it interrupts the flow of the song, more importantly. And also, none of the song is in rhyme at all. It's poorly written. You can probably find the lyrics online, but I doubt you'd want to.
Well, I heard that almost all the songs were ripped straight from the the live-action theatre version, so the songs aren't.
I imagine
even
they're
original.
awful there too, then.
Yeah.
I mean, my mum has seen the theatre version. She said it's completely awful, so it's a good adaptation.
It's a good adaptation. Nice.
I'll give the movie that.
Yeah.
And then it's okay. It's like, alright, we're being introduced to what the Jellicles are. Jellicles can do lots of things. And they do. And then it's, okay, we're firing off past that. We're all traumatized. Everyone's all the kids in the front row, they're in tears.
I thought the theatre was empty.
Yeah, no, I not once did I actually see this film were there actual children in the theatre.
That's a good thing, right?
It is a G film, yeah.
It's G?
Yeah, it's G.
Not PG. G?
No, it's G. Which gets surprising considering it has some dark implications later on, but we'll get to that when we get to the villain.
Oh, you gotta just tell me all the good bits of this.
They're all good bits. It's a great film. And we're basically done with the first song. So the second song, which starts like 5 seconds later, when the main hero of the film, her name's Victoria, by the way, she runs up to a gate, and on the other side of the gate is a cat, and he's like in a graveyard, and he just grabs her and pulls her through the gate.
Wait.
And it's like,
what?
Because it's like a gate. Like it would stop a human, but the bars are wide enough for a cat to go through.
Oh, okay.
Or so he just grabs her by like the hand and just like pulls her through. And suddenly she's in a graveyard. And somehow that's not the scariest thing about this scene. It's actually the least scary thing about this scene.
Okay.
Because it's just like, by this point, I have still not gotten over how they look. It's just like, it's still completely terrifying because it's just, they're in a graveyard in the middle of the night. There's like a full moon above it. I can't tell if these are fucking werecats or whatever.
Werecats.
And then they're singing about how a cat has 3 names or whatever. I don't understand it. I still don't understand it.
I'm not following anything.
I wasn't either.
There's something about a cult and fucking dancing cats and shit.
Yeah.
In an acid trip.
But we're going to speed through the naming song. All you have to know is it happened. A cat has 3 names apparently. I don't know what they are. One of them is the name a human gives a cat. That's the only one we're told.
Okay.
So, yeah, cat has 3 names. Got it. Epic.
Yeah.
And then we move on. The guy says, I believe this is some of the only words that aren't in the song. He says, I have a friend I'd like you to meet. And I'm like, okay, alright, we're gonna see James Corden, right? This is going to be epic. I'm gonna whip my dick out and start masturbating to that epic that epic James Corden cameo. But no, it's even worse. Because the first one that we're introduced, of the several that get introduced, is the Rebel Wilson cat. And the Rebel Wilson cat, Jesus Christ. Because there is some shit to talk about.
I can't believe you've seen this film twice.
She is the one that makes all of the cat puns that I mentioned earlier.
Oh, fuck yeah, fire away.
Every single time, it's cringe. It's so fucking... Like, she refers to herself at one point as a crazy cat lady, and I'm like, this whole film is filled with crazy cats. This is not out of the ordinary. But her song is somehow the most bizarre and disturbing thing so far in the film. It gets worse. The film gets worse.
That's fucking all I needed to hear.
Her song introduces animals that aren't cats, because this cat apparently lives on a diet solely of mice and cockroaches, which are both represented by humans that are even smaller. So it's a bunch of even tinier humans running around, and she's just grabbing them by the handful and eating them.
Just imagining Rebel Wilson grabbing tiny people as rats and eating them.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's basically what happens. And then, I believe it is halfway through the song that Rebel Wilson jumps up on the table, not before falling off because of the slapstick comedy, because she's fat. She's the only character in the film that has... Actually, no, James Corden also does have a few, because there are 2 shot to the groin jokes in this film that I will describe in vivid detail.
Fuck.
And then the Rebel Wilson cat jumps up on a table, and then this is the most bizarre thing so far, not the intro or the cockroach things. She starts unzipping her skin.
Wait, what?
And then she takes her skin off to reveal more skin, but she's wearing
What?
And like she's covered in glitter, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Because she's not like other cats in the film have been wearing clothes, like the magician, Mr. Mistopheles, magical Mr. Mistopheles. He's a cat. He kind of looks like Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat, and he wears like a top hat. He wears a sparkly vest. He's vibing.
I'd give this film a 10 instantly if Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat showed up.
I'd give it a 10 out of 10 if Michael Myers, the killer from Halloween, showed up and started fucking picking up all those
Picking the cats up one at a time.
Yeah. And then, so yeah, that is instantly, I was like, what the fuck am I looking at? What just happened? Because, like, she unzips it from, like, the base of her neck downwards. Because all of a sudden she just reaches up to the top of her neck and starts pulling, and you see, like, because the zip, you can't see it there before she does it. It's not actually there. She just...
Yeah.
It almost, like... There's, like, a slight zip sound effect, but it basically just looks like she's tearing her skin in half.
Jesus.
And it's like, fucking hell. Why? Whose decision was this? Why
hey, Marcus,
is this?
Marcus! Guys, come over here. Marcus came up with a new script idea. We need to get this thing greenlit now! We're gonna make money! Money, everybody!
And then, like, because we can't, like, there's a shelf behind her, but we can't see because she's, you know, standing there, she's doing her thing.
Yeah.
And then we see somebody raise their hand behind her, and the camera turns, and it's, in all his glory, Jason Derulo cat.
Yes! I was waiting for that.
And then he starts flirting with the main cat, Victoria, because she's the main character.
Yes.
She is actually played by Francesca Hayward, and this is her first film.
Okay.
On the big screen. So what an entrance.
Fuck.
Her career is going to be stunning.
Marvel film next. Should be in a Marvel film.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I guess that's a step downwards, but where do you go once you hit the top?
So all these people read the script and was like, fuck yeah, I'll be in that.
Yeah. Basically.
Like, legitimately. Like, fucking, yeah. I see that doing wonders for my career. I'm gonna fucking... James Corden's gonna be a cat. Yeah!
Ian McKellen's in it later.
Oh, fuck.
He plays a very minor character, but Judi Dench is in it, and she plays a very major character.
Yeah, what the fuck is she doing in this film?
But yeah, we'll get to her when I get to, you know, because she's the leader of the cult, so... The cult called the Jellicles.
Well, I'm sorry
so
to
the Rebel Wilson songs... Okay, what?
I'm sorry to break your cutthroat speed. I just wanted to quickly ask. I heard that there was, like, no plot until the last half an hour of the film. Is that true?
That's true. It's mostly just songs. The plot is very threadbare.
Yeah.
I believe it is in the Rebel Wilson song that we are introduced to the Jellicle choice. And it is with the Jellicle choice that I think this film is actually smarter than it appears at first sight. Because the Jellicle choice is a big once-a-year religion, and this is just... It's a big one-year event. And it's like, tonight's the night, let's do it. And all the Jellicle cats come around, they go to the theater, and they perform their best song, so that old Deuteronomy, which is Judi Dench, will pick one of them for Jellicle choice. So that's what all the cats... They all want to be picked for Jellicle choice. I'll explain what that actually entails when we find it out.
Did you say this film's smart?
There is one thing about the Jellicle choice that implies a lot of hidden depth behind the scenes. And it's actually... No shit, there are actually things to analyze in the plot and
Oh, no, don't even go that far. Fuck.
Metaphor and allegories. Like, and honestly, I think the reason I don't think I'm reading too much into it is because one oddly specific thing that we find out later at the Jellicle choice, but I'm getting ahead of myself because the Rebel Wilson song has just ended, and we are introduced to Jason Derulo cat. He starts flirting with the main character.
Victoria, was it?
And this is... Yes, Victoria. And this is when another one of my huge problems with the film comes in.
Oh,
it is too sexually charged. Almost all interactions between a male and female cat, or two female cats most of the time, it's just like, it's weird. Because almost all of them look naked, but luckily, for now, Jason Derulo cat is wearing a coat. And it's like a massive coat.
It doesn't make me feel any less worried.
And then, of course, Jason Derulo has to start his introductory song about why he should be the Jellicle choice.
Oh, yeah.
So all of the cats, because by the time the Rebel Wilson song is finished, all of the cats have come to Rebel Wilson's house, so the whole gang's here. And then all of them follow Jason Derulo down the road to a milk bar, which is odd. It's not an odd thing, because, cats love milk. But what is odd is when all of the humans disguised as cats get on their hands and knees and start licking at a bowl of milk.
What the fuck?
And then it's disturbing. We see
it sounds disturbing, dude. I'm not saying it doesn't sound disturbing.
Of humans licking into bowls of milk, and I'm like, what is going on? And then there's a scene where Victoria, she's dancing along with all the songs now. She's completely inducted into the cult. It's a story of tragic abandonment and then,
cultism.
Cult, yeah. And then she started dancing along, and she's dancing with Jason Derulo, and she kicks her leg up, and then he catches, her foot, because it's near his head, and her human foot, covered in fur, is on screen for too long. And he gets, I swear, both times I saw the film, I thought he was about to lick it. He gets that close to it, then he just, lets it go, and it goes off screen. And I was not ready for it.
Both times?
Yeah, no. Because there's the little things you kind of forget. But I'll never forget again.
Jesus Christ.
One day when I'm old and I have Alzheimer's, this will be the only thing I can remember.
This is our generation's flashbacks. Fuck.
Yeah, nah. Tyler Durden was wrong. Our Great Depression is cats.
Our Great War is a spiritual one. Our Great Depression is cats.
Yes.
Fuck. What else happens in this film?
Yes, and then we are introduced, because the Rebel Wilson cat, she's fat, she's slow, she hasn't caught up to the milk bar yet, so she's running...
Right, yeah.
She's running through the darkened streets alone. Luckily, honestly, I was relieved somehow to get away from there for a scene. But this is... I believe we see the villain earlier.
Yeah.
But he makes a very small appearance. He's watching from the shadows. This is where we're actually introduced to him.
Yeah.
So, in the shadows, played by Idris Elba, is McCavity.
McCavity.
Yeah, that's his name. And then he's talking to Rebel Wilson, and he's like, "Hey, you want your face to be on posters, huh?" And then she's like, "Yeah." And then he points to the wall behind him, where it shows multiple wanted dead or alive posters for McCavity that are placed too high up for a cat to have placed them. Meaning, he is wanted, dead or alive, by humans.
What?
For reasons that will become apparent later.
Oh. Gotta stay tuned.
And then he snaps his fingers. I don't think he snaps his fingers, but Rebel Wilson just disappears. She fades to dust. Which was a relief. And then we get back, that scene's over. We've been introduced to the villain, and he saved us from Rebel Wilson. So we got a few cats he still needs to get rid of, but he's made a good start.
I can't believe Idris Elba is in this film.
Yeah, he plays the fucking main villain. The whole time I was like, I recognize that. I recognize that guy. And then when the credits came up, it said Idris Elba, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Oh,
Awesome.
first time I've ever seen him. It's a little off topic, and I won't be long, okay? Because I know you love talking about your favorite film of the decade. Sorry.
Absolutely. It's the best film I've seen.
I've first seen Idris Elba in the second Ghost Rider film. That was where I first seen him slow-mo and flying off a cliff with a fucking assault rifle.
The thing is, I don't actually remember ever having seen the second Ghost Rider film. I remember having seen the first one a few times because I used to love that film. Yeah, I don't believe I ever got around to watching it. Unless I watched it while I was up there. I recall seeing it, or at least the opening.
There's a Ghost Rider peeing joke in it. Yeah. Watch it. All right, go on, cats. What else am I missing?
Okay.
Got a villain.
So, scene with McCavity's over. Yes.
Yeah.
And then we're introduced to the next scene. There are two songs that happen pretty close together. I can't remember which order they're in. I believe all of the cats have just... No. They hear something, I don't remember what, and they all scurry away, leaving Victoria alone near the milk, like right outside the milk bar.
This movie's fucked up.
Yeah, these two cats sneak up behind her.
Yeah.
I believe their names are... I'm trying to remember the song. I don't want to, but...
You don't have to, mate. It's okay.
Okay, it's really bothering me now. I need to find out these... Because there's a pair of cats.
Are they really that important?
I just feel like for clarity's sake, we need to, have their names. Oh no, this is where we're introduced to Jennifer Hudson Cat. Because it's her approaching that made everyone else run away. Because she's like a homeless old lady.
Okay.
Like, that is a cat.
Yes.
And it's like, wow, guys, that's pretty rude. And then she introduces herself to Victoria, and everyone hates Idris Elba, not Idris Elba, Jennifer Hudson Cat, because she used to work with Idris Elba, but she doesn't anymore.
Okay.
Because McCavity is not a lone agent; he has an entire crime syndicate.
Okay.
That he is.
Yeah.
And he's not a Jellicle cat, but he wants to be the Jellicle choice.
Alright.
And, which is odd, because he's not a Jellicle, so...
Gonna be completely honest with you, you're losing me. I have no idea what is going on.
The film lost me.
I don't even know how you're recalling it all.
I feel like somewhere along the way, I lost myself, too.
It's fucking sad.
So, Jennifer Hudson Cat approaches, she sings her little introductory song, then she kind of fucks off.
Yep.
And then Victoria is introduced to two cats,
yeah.
And they are... Just give me a moment.
This is just the level of dedication you've put in for this channel and this podcast. This is just... Yes. No one should ever question the effort you put in. The lengths you'll go to. Fuck me.
Yes. Because the thing is, I'm looking at the list of actors and who they... Oh, yes. It's Monkus Trap and Bumbalurina.
What?
And Bumbalurina is played by Taylor Swift.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
They induct this young girl to come and fucking rob a house with them. And she's suddenly introduced to a life of crime. She's in this house, has lavish wealth. They give her like a necklace, and it's too big for a cat to wear, so it's like hanging all down her body and stuff. And then they have a big song and dance about how they rob people's houses and they're basically assholes. But they're not doing it for any reason, really, because they can't spend money. They're cats. They're just being assholes. They're stealing people's jewelry and shit.
So we're just jumping from one random song and dance about one thing to
Yeah,
another.
that's what the movie does. It's just series of horrifying events.
It's just watching tragic events unfold one after another.
Yeah, it's like
the fucking
watching.
news.
It's like watching a compilation of America's tragedies.
Oh, fuck.
So, we have a big song and dance, and then they hear a dog barking.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, and then so they both just fucking bolt, and they leave Victoria. But the necklace she's got is caught on like the edge of a bed, so she's fucking like being strangled while you hear a dog running up the hallway. And the most horrifying thing about this scene is I'm worried that I might see what the dog looks like. Luckily, though, the cat I mentioned earlier, Magical Mr. Mistopheles, he's wearing a top hat and he's vibing. Yeah. He comes along and he pulls out of his hat a bone, which shows us that he's not fucking full of shit. This cunt's magic. And he like chucks it down the hallway to distract the dog while he frees Victoria.
Can I quote you on that?
Sure.
We're going to put all these quotes on the fucking screen of the podcast. Everything's just magical, so it can just sum up the film in one big fucking... Oh.
Sure. So, and then like him and Victoria just hold the door closed until the dog like goes away, and then they have like, it's like epic. They're having a nice little moment, and then they do one of the most. I can't remember if I've already mentioned this because I'm really just flying through this.
That's all right. Just keep flying.
They start nuzzling. Because have you ever seen well, it's when, like, my cats do it to me all the time. It's when they just rub their head against you. Oh. And they start rubbing their heads against each other's heads.
So, you're telling me they start doing this in the film?
They do it too many times.
Oh, Jesus.
This is only the first. And then... Magical Mr. Mistopheles is like, come on, Victoria, what are you doing in a life of crime, nearly getting killed by unknowable abominations one can only imagine?
You weren't going to say, come on, it's only the first act, were you? I really hope we're getting towards the end.
We are only, like, 20 minutes in.
Are you serious?
We're, like, maybe, at most, like, 35 minutes into the film.
Okay, can you just, like, rapid fire through this shit? Just fucking bang, bang, bang. Big event, dance.
Yeah, right.
The good bits.
Right. I'm trying to do a play-by-play, so you guys have, the full experience.
It's a nightmare just hearing about it, let alone watching it. I don't know how you do it.
Alright. And the next cat we're introduced to is the James Corden cat.
Yes!
Bustafer Jones, his name is. And his entire song, it's about 7 minutes long, and it's just about how fat he is. And he said, like, one of the lines in the chorus is, I am so incredibly fat. And this is the song where both of the shot to the groin jokes are.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, can you tell me what both of them are?
They are both to James Corden.
Wow.
There is one where he's standing on like a plank, and it's like kind of like acting as a seesaw on a barrel, and then one fucking twink of a cat jumps onto the other end to try and launch him up, and he interrupts the song, and this is like another one of these parts I've just spoken. He doesn't know this part in the song, and he's just standing there with like his hands up, kind of like a meerkat, which was a bit odd, because you know how like meerkats keep their hands very close to each other. Yeah, he was doing that, just standing there, and he's just fucking chewing the fuck out of this cat. Like, he's like,
wait,
what the no,
what's he doing? He's chewing the fuck out of another cat?
No, I mean, like, he's just like, he just says to this cat, you fool, you fucking cretin, you simpleton, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? I am like 6 times your size. That wasn't going to work. Get
Going
more cats, you
around,
little
fucking
bitch.
blowing up monuments and shit. What the fuck did you think was gonna happen?
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Jesus.
And then they jump, like 6 cats jump on. He gets launched up because he wants to land into a big trash can and eat all the trash like a hero. Like the person deserving of the Jellicle choice. And then he lands on the edge of the trash can and I was like, oof, Jesus. Because that's when he gets hit in the groin. And then, after his whole song's gone, McCavity comes for James Corden cat, and he lures him into a big thing by saying there's food in it. And then James Corden goes in, and we just hear him fucking screaming, and he's gone.
Wait, like for the rest of the film?
Not. Unfortunately, no.
That would have been good.
Because this is when we find out where Rebel Wilson and James Corden go. Because we just see them tied to a mast on a boat.
Wait, what?
They got teleported to a boat.
Okay, alright, look. This film has completely lost me, like, structurally. Just, instead of explaining it chronologically, like, because I know you can, and you have been, just start telling me the best bits. What were the highlights for you?
Well, we are right about to get into Judi Dench's introduction, which is what I kind of wanted to talk about earlier, because this is when it brings up the important fact about the Jellicle choice that makes me think this movie has a lot more to it than people would realize. Because Judi Dench is introduced. She looks as horrifying as you've imagined. She's in the trailers.
Yeah.
And she winks too often. And she's also about twice the height of the other cats. Now,
okay.
Also, which is like, okay, because she's so old and wise. Because all the other cats are like not old and not wise, and not pleasant to look at.
Does Bill Murray's cat Garfield show up at all?
I wish.
Him eating lasagna would have been the best.
Bill Murray as a cat in this film.
Yeah, just Bill Murray as a cat, and he's fucking orange.
Yeah.
It would have been great.
Because the thing was, it would have looked weird if there was a regular cat at some point in the film. But yes, Judi Dench explains that the Jellicle choice is 1 cat a year that will be transported to a place called the Heaviside Layer.
Okay.
Now, do you know what the Heaviside Layer is?
Because I don't know what you're talking about. Anything. This Jellicle cult, and like, I'm lost.
The Jellicle choice is... Well, the Jellicle choice is the cat that is chosen to go up in a hot air balloon and go up into space and fucking die. Because the Heaviside Layer is a layer of of Earth's atmosphere that radio waves bounce off of. If a cat were to go up there, they'd be fucking dead. And because they all say that when they... Okay, can you stop? Because I'm not finished.
Go to a hot air balloon and just fucking die. Sorry.
Don't ask me where they get the hot air balloon. Because I don't know why.
Going to. Okay. Alright, I'm holding myself together. Keep going.
So, and it is said, because I imagine at one point or another you've heard cats have 9 lives. That's like, a thing people say. And that's implied to be like... It's not necessarily implied to be a fact in this universe, but the Jellicle choice is kind of based off, like, when they go up to the Heaviside Layer, they will be reborn as a new cat.
Yeah.
And it's never actually explicitly stated if they're reborn with the memories of their past life. Because if they are, then, epic. But if they aren't, is it actually any different from dying? And because Old Deuteronomy, which is the name of Judi Dench cat, she is said to have lived 99 lives. But this is instantly suspicious because cats have 9 lives, not 99. So where the fuck does this bitch get off?
I'm so lost.
And So it's implied that the entire Jellicle religion is founded on the lies of a madwoman. And cats are lining up to be chosen to fucking die every year.
Yeah.
And, like, the entire thing, it is just, I believe, a deliberate story about the danger of cults, because it's very this part of the film is actually has surprising amounts of depth. Don't get used to it.
So this G-rated film, its message to children is what? To not join cults and be careful?
Don't join cults. Don't go into an alleyway alone with Idris Elba.
Okay. Alright.
Okay, so
Message. Yep.
speaking of Idris Elba, we should skip a few songs that aren't important, like the song for Ian McKellen, and I'm sure you'll be happy to hear. We do the song for McCavity, and because McCavity has magical powers, and he's the only cat, one of the two that is demonstrated to have magical powers. Him and Magical Mr. Mistopheles. Deuteronomy is not demonstrated to be at all magical, despite being the basis for the Jellicle religion.
What has this film done to you? This has just broken me completely. How are you still going?
I'm bringing up the script for the McCavity sing, because there is one line in this song that shook me to my fucking core. Because it is one of the most disturbing things I've ever heard, because of the implications it carries.
Yep.
Alright. McCavity, there's no one like McCavity. He's broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. So, name a human law.
Don't murder people?
McCavity's done it. Tax fraud? He's done it. Rape? He's done it.
McCavity, you've committed tax fraud! Don't do it!
Yeah. And
McCavity, pay your taxes! What are you doing?
McCavity, did you just jump in front of a car for the insurance payout?
McCavity, what are you doing?
You can't do that, man. But this explains why, for some reason, humans had put up wanted posters that have a $1,000 bounty on McCavity. And this movie takes place in, like, the 20s. So...
Oh, really? So,
a $1,000 bounty is nothing to sneeze at. Like, that's actually a lot because of inflation.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is... I'm pretty sure he's more wanted than Jack the Ripper ever was.
Yeah. Crazy.
And, like, this is when Idris Elba comes down, and because he was wearing a coat just like Jason Derulo, and by this point in the film, neither of them are wearing coats, and it's weird. It's very weird, because McCavity is described as a ginger cat, but I don't know if you noticed, but Idris Elba is black.
Yeah.
So he's not a ginger cat in the film. And his song is very weirdly seductive, and it's like a jazz number. And during it, the two criminal cats that were robbing the house earlier are dumping catnip on everyone and just drugging the entire audience into, like, dancing along. And it's pretty fucking dark, because all of them are just dancing along. It's kind of like the scene in Shrek with the Pied Piper.
Okay.
Shrek 4, where all of them are dancing along against their own free will.
Okay. I'm with you.
This song ends, McCavity comes down, because by this point he's already gotten rid of everybody else who's tried to be the Jellicle choice, and he comes down to old Deuteronomy and he's like, "Hey Judy, help a brother out, kill me please."
What?
Because that's, as we've gone over, Jellicle choice is just killing. Like, he asked to be the Jellicle choice, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, go up a hot air balloon and fucking die.
And then Judi Dench is like, No.
Oh. Whoa. Thought you were going to have something a bit heavier there, but just, no. I'm not going to do that.
And
Crazy.
then he kidnaps Judi Dench and takes her to his boat or whatever. And then is the most memorable scene in the film because it's Magical Mr. Mistopheles' big song, because he hasn't had one yet.
Okay.
Because everyone's like, dude, you're magic too, just bring her the fuck back. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And then, but he's a nervous cat. He's got insecurities.
Ah.
So everyone's like, okay, we need to cheer him up. And so everyone starts singing, oh, well, there never was there ever a cat so clever as the magical Mr. Mistopheles. And they repeat this like 40 times. And because like they're like, the film is trying to goad the audience into singing along with it, which I did not do. I did not. If you say that I did sing along to Cat, you're a liar, and you're a charlatan and a fiend.
I think I might start a fundraiser to pay for your therapy sessions.
I did not sing along to the film. You want to know who was no fun and didn't sing along? My mate. He didn't do anything. He didn't even...
Yeah, but are you then implying that you were the second time round?
Alright, I'm back.
Hey. Oh, fuck.
Yes. I absolutely did not sing along to the Magical Mr. Mistopheles song.
I think
like,
you're trying to tell me you did, but you're ashamed of it. Because it's just the same repeating line.
I live a life of nothing but shame and mistakes. And that was only the most recent.
Fucking hell.
That was the second mistake that was the last mistake I made. The second to last was watching Cats.
I'm learning a lot about you as a friend today.
Yes. You may never look at me the same way again.
I probably won't. You're in a cinema with your friend. You know, while they're singing, you start singing. Maybe even clap along a bit, looking at your friend, thinking, your friend is no fun. He's the one with issues.
No, because the whole time I was just like tapping my foot along to the songs.
Who is your friend? I need to know them.
Where my friend believed I had crossed the line was during the Jason Derulo song when I was tapping the armrest. But he had not seen anything yet.
Oh, fuck. How much of the film's left to go? Because I don't know how we're doing the
this
time.
is nearly the end, because
this
is the song where they get old Deuteronomy back, and then they're like, okay, epic, the Jellicle choice is saved, but Cavity is just gone for what? Oh, wait, no, they fucking drown him. I remember.
Wait, what? Just fucking drown a cat. Okay.
Yeah, all of the
I'm with it.
cats
It's not that
on the
strange.
boat. Oh yeah, all of the
Tax
cats
fraud.
on the boat that he kidnapped rise up, and then they overthrow their evil tyrant that is holding them hostage.
Okay.
And then Magical Mr. Mistopheles magic's back Judi Dench, and I guess the other cats are just chilling on the boat still.
Wait.
Because he doesn't bring them back.
When did Judi Dench go?
At the end, when she says no, McCavity takes her away. And then it's the Magical Mr. Mistopheles song, because everyone's trying to, make him confident so he has the power to...
Okay, which cat drowns?
McCavity.
And McCavity is...
And McCavity's friend, who was also helping him hold the cats hostage. I didn't feel like he was important enough to
McCavity's Idris Elba, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh my god, they
Who
drowned
can
Idris
fly.
Elba as a cat. What the fuck?
And also he could fly and teleport, so...
Wait. You can't throw these elements in the last fucking act. Oh, alright.
Well, I mean,
Can you
the
tell
fact
me
that
one
he can
thing?
teleport was established quite early, but...
Can you at least tell me if someone dies in a hot air balloon?
Well, I was right about to mention,
Yes.
because now old Deuteronomy's back. She's ready to make the Jellicle choice.
Yep.
And everyone's like, oh, yes, pick me. And I'm saying, pick Magical Mr. Mistopheles, because he's the reason you're not at the bottom of a river right now.
Yep.
Because right before he gets old Deuteronomy back, Idris Elba is trying to make her walk the plank of his boat. Which I only realize now is oddly small, considering it's designed to be, like, fit for the size of the cat, which would mean it's, like, very small.
Yeah.
And who built it and why? But these are all questions we will never get answers to. Because everyone's like, okay, we need somebody for the Jellicle choice. And then Victoria's like, oh yeah, I know somebody who's well-deserving and a good friend of mine. And she goes outside, and Jennifer Hudson, the homeless lady, is like standing right outside. And she's like, come on. And then before Jennifer Hudson comes in, though, she has to sing a song. She sings Memories. It's like, okay, all right, cool. Then she comes in, and then everyone's like, oh, aghast, because they're like, oh, what? A homeless person? This is terrifying to me as a welcoming cat. And then she sings the same 3-minute long song again.
Really?
The one she sang right before she came in, she sings it again in front of everyone. And then old Deuteronomy's like, you are the Jellicle choice, homeless woman.
Yes, you can do 2 song numbers.
She didn't even hear the one outside, but I'm singing the whole time, come on, man. Magical Mr. Mistopheles earned that. He's the one, like, he's the reason she's not dead. So then Jennifer Hudson, because this is when the hot air balloon is introduced.
Okay.
The hot air balloon is not mentioned before this.
Oh,
so Jennifer Hudson just gets into a basket, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Then the basket starts rising. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then it cuts to a shot of outside the theater that they're in, because they're in like an abandoned theater.
Okay.
And she's just flying away in a hot air balloon. I'm like, what the fuck? When did they get this? Like, where was this hinted at all? Because it wasn't even in the room, because like the second half of the film is almost all in one big room. It's like a theater.
Okay.
Because that's where they have the Jellicle choice. And like the hot air balloon, when Jennifer Hudson gets in, is like in the center of the room, but it's not there beforehand. And it's like, okay, alright, she's flying away, alright. And then, now, because I said the movie only gets worse, and so it's natural that the most terrifying scene would be the last.
Oh.
Because Judi Dench and Victoria and Magical Mr. Mistopheles are sitting on top of a statue. It's the early morning, because the film takes place over the course of a night.
Yeah.
So it's early morning, and all the cats have gathered around, and she starts singing a song about how a cat is not a dog, and it's the worst thing ever. Second worst thing ever, I realize now. It's the second worst thing ever, because the worst thing ever is when Judi Dench, Magical Mr. Mistopheles, and Victoria turn and face the camera.
Oh.
And all 3 of them are looking at the camera and singing this song, and I couldn't stomach looking at the screen. Because the thing is, like, Judy, I don't remember, or if this is just how it's been in my nightmares, so this is how I remember it, but they have, like, their eyes are not human eyes, but they're not cat eyes either. They're, like...
Yeah.
Judi Dench's eyes, I know for a fact this isn't what it's like, but for some reason, when I remember it, I just remember just black voids where her eyes should be, because that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
She just stares directly at you. She does not blink or break eye contact once. It's unnatural.
I've got some questions to ask you. All right. Well,
I do. I have equally as many questions.
Where did you think the plot was going before a hot air balloon was introduced?
Well, before honestly, the Jellicle choice and like the motivation of all the cats is introduced fairly early on.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, but I was expecting, Victoria to be the Jellicle choice.
Yeah.
Because like she's the closest thing to a protagonist that the film has. Because she's in most of the scenes, she's the perspective character.
Yep. Okay.
But she's not the Jellicle choice. She gets fucking homeless.
So we've established that this movie is not good, and it's given you nightmares.
When did we establish that? I never said that.
Was it giving you nightmares and you're like, it's a great film, good time. I'm shaking in my sleep. Okay.
Fair. That's true. All of those things are true.
Okay. Why did you see it a second time? I know you had a friend with you. Why did you sit there at a second time and not just trick your friend into watching it?
I would not... Okay, I'm going to say I would not have watched it again alone.
Good. Good, that's good.
Fuck. But I just, I was bored that day. I was like, hey, mate, do you want to watch Cats? And I didn't expect him to say yes. And then he did. And then I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, shit, here we go again.
Shit. Here we go again.
Fuck.
And I swear the lady who was at the counter when I ordered my ticket, because she was the same lady that was there the first time. Oh, it's the
same one.
Because that cinema only has like 3 people that work the cashier.
Yeah.
And I swear the look she gave me, she must have recognized me. From like 3 days earlier.
Oh, that's not good.
I was like, I don't really love this film. Because the thing was, I watched Joker at that cinema like 4 times.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So yeah, it's like, okay, I really loved Joker, but I did not really love Cats and just can't get enough of it. Because, oh my god, it's awful. Every second of it is pain and suffering, and I give it an 8 out of 10. That's my review of Cats, everyone.
You're giving it an 8 out of 10. Alright, everyone unsubscribe from his fucking channel. Do not support this movie, please. I really don't want people to support shit like this.
It will it's like $70 million away from making its money back, so I feel like
that's a lot of tickets.
Yeah. I feel like your audience isn't big enough for me to feel guilty about promoting this film.
Alright. It isn't at this point, so you can do it.
What everyone should do is go and grab a refreshing can of Monster Energy.
No, I cut it out from the start. You're not bringing it back. This is not Death Stranding. There's no Monster Energy sponsorship.
Oh man, that game has some weird product placement.
Yeah.
Like there are multiple adverts for a show called Ride with Norman Reedus.
Really?
Yes, which is just a show about Norman Reedus riding motorcycles, I'm pretty sure. But one of these ads is Norman Reedus, the character, because he plays a character in the game, and he's like, man, I feel like I'm on Ride with Norman Reedus right now. It's the most funny thing ever. I love Death Stranding, it's a great game. Better than Cats.
There's some other news I wanted to talk about. Just briefly, just a couple things. The Morbius trailer, do you think it's going to be any good?
I have not seen the trailer, and I don't even know what it is.
So, do you remember Spider-Man 3 on the PS2?
Yeah, roughly. I played a lot more of Spider-Man 2. I don't even think I owned Spider-Man 3.
Well, it had, that's where I primarily know Morbius from, and he's a living vampire. And, yeah, it's just think vampires in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, except it's Sony's universe, but Vulture from the MCU is in it. But then there's a picture of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man that has murderer written over it. There's a lot of conflicting elements on where this takes place and what it all means. I don't know how the film's actually
Does the
going to be.
Raimi trilogy actually have any contradicting, other than Spider-Man himself, any contradicting characters? Like, because that had, like, Green Goblin, Harry, and,
Yeah.
Mary Jane, and none of those characters are actually in the MCU.
No.
As much as fucking Disney can try to convince me that Zendaya is Mary Jane,
Yeah.
they're gonna have to try a hell of a lot harder.
Yeah, this film just reminds me a lot of Venom. I'm not really...
But I thought you
Fine.
loved Venom.
Nah. No. No, I don't. I really don't. I love Venom as a character, but I don't love the film.
You were eagerly awaiting the sequel last time.
Well, you know what? I honestly am. I can't wait to see Woody Harrelson as Carnage. That I have to see. Fuck. Like, Carnage's first on-screen appearance. You couldn't make it any worse. I can't wait.
Absolutely.
In other news, my review and stuff to do with that, it's in full production, full swing. Everything's...
Venom?
No, not Venom.
Uh,
No.
I...
That's why in other news, it's not. Speaking of, no, the review's in full force with the filming and shit. And it's coming along good. A little cringy, but it's a start.
That's epic. Is it
Yeah.
your review of Cats? And is it better than my review of Cats that I just did?
Yeah, is that your full in-depth review of Cats?
It's basically, is it? Do you want me to go in more in depth?
No, it's good. It's good. Fuck. That just... Cats knocked the shit out of me and I didn't even see it.
I cannot get over how terrifying it is when they just turn and face the camera. It's awful. It's horrifying. They do it for like 3 minutes. Because they do it for like almost the entire last song. And at the start it's only Judi Dench and Victoria and Mr. Mistopheles kind of just looking off in random directions awkwardly as if they weren't told anything in terms of what to do.
Yeah, well, like...
And then like...
enough about cats. Enough about cats.
Kind of...
Fuck cats. Enough. You reviewed it. It's an 8 somehow. I don't know why. You've seen it twice. I still don't get it.
Given me 8 nightmares.
Gonna give it 8 nightmares out of 10.
Yes.
Oh fuck. But yeah,
in 2 more nights, it will be a 10.
But the review's in full swing. Hopefully you're gonna like it. I've put some funny stuff in there.
Awesome. Any idea when we're gonna have it?
I don't know. I'm still in the filming process. A lot of the little scenes and skits and stuff I've already written out.
I did want to ask you something, because you know how in your thumbnails you have us in the corner?
Yeah.
I was really going, I would really love it if you edited us to look like cats.
Don't make me do that.
Please do it. That would be epic.
What do you want it to look like? Like we got fur
Like
all
in the
over
film.
ourselves? Fucking no!
Just
you're a
deep fake
panda.
it.
How do you expect me to fucking do it?
Just do it with yourself then. That'd be epic.
No, I'm not doing that.
Please?
No. I'm not doing
Oh. It was worth asking.
Have you seen any of The Mandalorian?
No.
I have watched all of it. It is
Any
twice. Watched it all twice. And
Epic.
it was really good. There were some episodes that
you
were
were giving me shit for watching Cats twice.
Mandalorian's good. That's the difference.
That is an unimportant fact. Like that factor is not actually relevant.
It is definitely relevant. You should watch The Mandalorian and not watch Cats. It's just
How long's the whole show? It's like 8 episodes, right?
Yeah, 8 episodes that are about 30 to 40 minutes per episode.
And when does Baby Yoda get punched in the fucking... If I skip to that scene in episode 8, will I have a firm grasp of what's going on? Or do you kind of need to watch it from the start?
Yeah, you kind of need a bit more context as to what the fuck is going on.
Damn it.
Yeah. It's good. There's some episodes that are a bit here nor there, but episode 3 in particular, I absolutely loved. I thought that was really good.
Okay. Yeah, I might get around to watching it then.
Yeah, hopefully we can talk about Mandalorian sometime. That would
Yeah.
be great. Is there any other news related to films or even games or anything that you want to talk about before we wrap up?
Cyberpunk got delayed by
Yeah,
5 months.
it did,
that
didn't
made me
it?
sad.
Yeah.
But other than that, I can't really think of anything.
Yeah. Alright then, well, thanks everybody for sitting here with me and letting Jackson vent his love for cats.
Yes.
Uh,
And just actually one thing before we go, play Raid Shadow Legends.
Alright, that's it. Bye, we're going. See ya.
It's only the most ambitious